With the under elsewhere, though, second-ranked Ohio State visit Maryland today in a Big Ten battle. The Buckeyes have won each of their games the last 10 by double digits. They're 27-point favourites today with the total set at 62.5. John, coming back to you here, what's your play in this game?
Going to go with Maryland, and I'm going to go the under on this one. When you look at this matchup, look, these teams have played 7 times, and in those 7 games, Ohio State's never scored less than 49 points. In 4 of those 7, they scored 60. But here's the thing. Maryland is a better offensive team. This is probably the best Maryland team that Ohio State has faced in these 7 matchups. And I say that because on the offensive side of the ball, they probably have 2, possibly 3 wide receivers that are going to play in the NFL. And Jones and Jarrett and Copeland, these guys are legitimate NFL prospects at the wide receiver position. And if you're going to gash Ohio State, you're going to do it in the pass game, you're going to do it between the hashes, and you're going to do it downfield, which Maryland can do. So that's where they attack. I think eventually inside the trenches, up front at the point of attack, I think eventually Ohio State, both offensive line, defensive line, enforces their will on Maryland. C.J. Stroud needs a big game to bolster his Heisman campaign. Ohio State needs to make a statement here. They want to warm up going into the Michigan game, which is going to be a huge matchup. I just think this is too many points. I think Maryland covers these points, and I think you take the under in this game because once Ohio State steps on the gas, they're not going to leave their starters in deep into the 4th quarter. They need to get these guys some rest. They need to get healthy because I tell you what, guys, next week they're going up against a Michigan team that will bludgeon you to death physically. So they need to come out of this game with a win. And they need to stay healthy going into next week.
John, I love what you said there about that wide receiver room for Maryland, because the number one thought when I'm handicapping this game is that the back door will never be locked. Because when you've got that kind of firepower with Taulia Tagovailoa and those wide receivers, then you're going to be dealing with a situation of motivation late in the game. Ohio State has Michigan on deck. They are going to want to preserve their bodies. They want to make sure that they are healthy. They're going to be trying to bleed the clock. They might not be as aggressive, while Maryland will continue to sling the rock to try to overcome what I imagine will be a sizable deficit. Also, there is just kind of a feel here. This Ohio State team has shown on the road the time to maybe see a little bit of a slip up offensively. That offensive line is terrific on paper, but in actual performance, there's been some times where it's been a little bit inconsistent. The fact that it's a road game, the fact that it's right before the Michigan game, and Maryland, this is, I hate the cliche, your Super Bowl, but in terms of a chance to really make this season feel like it means something, you're bowl eligible, but you're nowhere close to the conference title race. Being able to have a great effort against Ohio State would mean so much to this roster. So I think that motivation in the second half, the explosiveness of the Maryland passing attack, the back door will never be locked. So I will take the Terps as well.
Yeah, with that back door open, Chip, I'm going over the total, and I think that's what's going to help me get it over this total. Last week I was over the Ohio State. I said they're gonna score 50, and the total was 56. When I got off the show, the total was, they bet it up to 62. It still went flying over because Ohio State put up over 50 once again. And this offense, that's what they do. C.J. Stroud is in complete control of this offense. He's been sacked just 7 times all year, 7 times. It's a clean pocket all the time. That's why he's completing 67% of his passes, 9 yards a pass. They're putting 50 up again today. That over's 62. So I just need Maryland to come in that back door and score a couple of touchdowns to get me over this total. Kyle McCord, the backup quarterback, outstanding, and throw it all over the yard too. If he gets in, he'll throw a touchdown today as well. So Ohio State over.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.